Bob Levinson, a father of 7, a former FBI agent of 23 years turned private investigator, and now the longest-held American captive in history. How that came to be is the cloak and dagger story pieced together by journalist Barry Meyer, author of the just-published Missing Man, the American Spy Who Vanished. Scott Thuman sat down with the author to learn what he's found after investigating this cold case that has haunted the Levinson family for the last 9 years.
Several Americans unjustly detained by Iran are finally coming home.
That announcement was made in January, several months after the U.S. sealed a deal to reduce economic sanctions against Iran if it agreed not to pursue nuclear weapons. Since Iran is the last known place that Bob Levinson was seen, his family, says author Barry Meyer, thought he would be among those freed.
They were stunned when it was announced that these other prisoners were coming home, and the administration didn't even have the courtesy to notify them. They learned about it from watching the news like every other American.
Though Levinson is not like every other American. To this day, the Iranians have never acknowledged holding him captive. The mystery begins in 2007, when Levinson, supposedly as a private investigator, went to Kish, an Iranian free trade zone in the Persian Gulf where Americans do not need a visa. Then he vanished. Meyer began his own investigation into what happened to Levinson. First, he gained the Levinson family's trust, and then troves of Bob's personal work files.
And there inside a conference room were 10 large bankers' boxes full of files, and it was like an entry into this secret world that Bob lived in.
A secret world, Meyer says, of gathering information on Iran as a contractor for the CIA. Meyer says the family had Bob's computer hacked after he disappeared that led a paper trail to the agency.
I had hundreds of reports that he had sent to the CIA. I had all the emails that were sent back and forth between him and his CIA handler. It was undisputable.
So if Levinson was working for the CIA, why would the agency deny it? The CIA declined to comment to full measure, but Meyer has his own idea.
They won't say that Bob Levinson was a CIA consultant who went to Iran to gather information for the CIA. And they are refusing to do that because they do not want to admit that we're in the business of collecting intelligence on both our friends and our enemies.
It would be an admission that could endanger other Americans overseas who would be treated like suspected spies by hostile nations. The first hint about Levinson's disappearance, Meyer says, came in 2007 in an email apparently from Bob and sent to his family and the FBI.
It was one of the most tantalizing clues they might have received. Essentially, this was an email that appeared to have been written by Bob Levinson. It was pleading for help, and they never followed up with any of these individuals.
The FBI wouldn't comment, but issued a statement on the 9th anniversary of Levinson's disappearance, saying the FBI continues to work closely with our intelligence community and international partners to locate Bob and bring him home safely.
I have been held here for 3.5 years. I am not in very good health.
In 2011, this video of Bob Levinson emerged, the first and last sign he was still alive. For years, the government, the Levinson family, and even the press kept to what Meyer considers Bob's cover story. He had traveled to Iran to investigate cigarette smuggling.
Very early on, it became clear to us that we were facing a choice. I mean, we knew Bob was a consultant to the CIA. We didn't know whether he was dead or alive. The story that we had was not worth gambling somebody's life over.
That changed in 2013. The Associated Press and Washington Post decided to break the story that Levinson was collecting information for the CIA and that it sparked a scandal inside the agency.
At some point, heads rolled.
Well, the explanation for why Bob's handler and 2 other senior analysts were pushed out was that they had essentially run this rogue operation. What has never been acknowledged is that Bob was collecting intelligence about Iran.
Bob Levinson was not a U.S. government employee when he went missing in Iran.
Bob's family has pleaded with the U.S. government to get him back. They've gone to Congress
My family will never rest until our father is back home with us.
And Levinson's son, Dan, even traveled to Iran to try and find him. Still, nothing. Nearly 10 years on, the Levinson family has no answers, just questions.
They're a family who have no closure, who wake up every morning wondering whether something is going to happen that's going to resolve this case. And it's been happening day after day after day, and they deserve much better.
FBI Director James Comey stated in March that his agency was, quote, doing everything in our power to investigate all leads. Still to come on Full Measure, food stamps are supposed to help people, but some people are helping themselves to what may be black market profits.